On-screen text. What's your take on an invisible
Not
disability?
something I'm a huge fan of, personally,
Sierra.
having one myself.
Interview on black
if I
background.
could, somehow snap my fingers and not have one, I would do it in a heartbeat, just to try to fit in, because there's so much stigma to disability now. Because you can't exactly go up and just completely out yourself and say, well, I have this, 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 and this, so you need to accommodate me. I mean, you don't really have any proof, you don't really have any backup, so you have to put a lot of faith into the teacher, and when they don't respond well to that, it's just very frustrating.
Scene changes to a student
All
handing
right,
a professor
Alex.
an accommodations
Thank you.
letter.
I wonder if you could stop by my office later so we could talk about this?
Yeah,
Great.
sounds good, thanks.
Alex, in another classroom, hands her accommodations letter to a different professor. He looks at it, his gaze conveys
So
confusion
you need
and
to go to the
disbelief.
Disability Resource Center for every test and quiz.
Alex nods her
Do
head.
you mind telling me what your disability is?
She opens and closes her mouth, saying nothing, as other students funnel into the room around
You
her.
know, if you're unwilling to tell me what your disability is, I don't know that I can accommodate you.
Alex opens and closes her mouth, gesticulating towards the professor
Tell you what,
with
let's
the
just
accommodations
give it a couple
letters.
weeks and see how things go. And I'll check back with you then, okay?
Alex gives her head a minimal
It can be
shake,
very frustrating
returning to her
because you know
seat.
that there's a chance that they're
Scene
not going to
switches
believe
back
you,
to
that they're going to
Sierra.
give you a hard time for it because they can't physically see what's wrong and they don't know what's wrong. Because like with a physical disability, you can look and see, oh, well, this person's going to need this much help because they look like they have this. The invisible disabilities, hence invisible, they don't know. There are some teachers that I wouldn't tell or wouldn't feel comfortable telling. It's just you know that you're going to be treated differently. They're going to think of you differently. They're almost going to pity you in a sense, and that's just, nobody wants pity.
Scene fades to black, returning to Alex's classroom where the teacher erases the
Pop
whiteboard.
quiz.
Are you serious?
Alex says to the girl sitting to her right as the teacher hands the quizzes around the classroom. Close-up of Alex sitting in her seat. She's handed the quizzes. She raises her hand. The instructor notices Alex's raised hand and approaches.
What should I do with this?
Well, what do you mean?
Can I go to the DRC?
No, you stay here and take the quiz like everybody else.
I can't do this here.
Well, you know what, maybe after class if you want to come up and we'll talk about your disability
Alex
then.
opens and closes her mouth, but no words come out, as the student to Alex's
Just do
right
the best you can.
gives an almost imperceptible head shake towards the professor. Alex looks down at the test paper that contains nothing but her name. As students finish their quizzes, they funnel out of the room, leaving only Alex and one other student still working on their papers. The instructor removes his glasses and looks at his watch.
Time's up. I'm going to bring your tests up and have a good weekend.
We see Alex's test paper, still only containing her name.
Professor,
How can I help you, Alex?
I can't do my quizzes here. I have to take all my quizzes and tests in the DRC. My accommodation letter should have told you that.
Well, if you are needing to take your test there, I need to know why. You haven't told me why. Why do you need to go there?
You said that in front of my classmates. That's embarrassing.
Well, I'm sorry you feel so bad, and I really wasn't trying to upset you.
What you're doing is against the law.
Alex places her backpack on the instructor's desk, removing from it another copy of her accommodations letter. She hands it to him and leaves the room. The scene returns to Sierra's
They should just be able to look at the accommodations, understand that there's something that maybe they don't know, maybe they're not going to find out, but they need to help. And it's none of their business. If I want to tell somebody, I will tell them. I'll make sure that they know. But if I don't want to tell them, then they shouldn't try to push me to find out.
On-screen text. What should students do if they have accommodation difficulties?
I think talk to the teacher first, talk to your teachers, and try to figure out even if they would be willing to help you without accommodations. That's actually what I did last semester. I didn't have any accommodations till this semester. I was almost too scared to go and try to get them. I stayed in contact with my teachers. I explained that there were some things going on and I needed some extra help, and all of them, I think, except for one, were more than willing to try to help. As for the one, I found ways to work around it. But if they're having trouble, keep in contact with your teachers. I guess get in touch with another doctor that'll be able to help, a psychiatrist, a physician, anything like that, so that you can get some almost medical backup to bring with you to the DRC to say, hey, I do need help with this, and just keep trying. you know, they can only deny you for so long if you really need the help.
The scene fades to black.